just fixed this shit. I was just in preview. I don't know why it does this every time. It's fucking infuriating. Because, like, I was literally just here, right? And I just said everything and it looked perfect. And then I started the stream and then it's like, nope, I'm going to show you a completely different window. And it's like I just readjusted it to be you again, right? And it's still showing me an entirely different window. Like, it's not even... It's showing me Blitz, not even Discord. Why is it not showing me Discord? How does that make any sense? Why is... Here, I'm just going to close the Blitz window. There. Now it actually shouldn't have anything to stream at this point.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, so I'm going to set my window, which is right there. And put it back here. And that's me. Okay. And okay. And then I'm going to shrink this. God damn it. I'm going to shrink this down to my actual size. Put it in this box where it's supposed to be. I wish I could just start the stream and it not have stupid technical problems. Like, once every now and... There it is. It's fixed. Hallelujah! Okay. All right, now we can start. Well, first off, I need to check the stream levels. Talk a little bit.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Perfect. Okay. Oops. Opened up.
Dude, I just woke up from a 4-hour nap.
That has got to feel great.
It feels great, but I don't know what time it is or what year I'm in. It is so disorienting.
It's 2029.
Okay, good.
I have aged
real well. Skip the Trump presidency.
Yeah. No, he's back. They they did it for a lifetime now.
Oh, good. Well,
he's gonna be around for a while.
That was to be expected. He should be up for health problems though fairly soon, right?
No, they got immortality.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah. Well, they passed that in Congress?
No, they just figured it out in science.
Okay.
Whenever they could just decide to ignore climate change, it let them really focus on immortality, and they nailed that.
Like really important things. Like, who needs fish when you can live forever?
Right. Well, I mean, we can all live forever now. Well, at least I can. A couple others that are, privileged. But, yeah, the problem is it's actually snowing, flaming snow outside. That's an issue. But, hey, self-driving cars.
Okay. That's why I smell sulfur. It's not just my soul.
I wish I had Zencaster on right now. This would make an insanely good intro.
I have Zencaster on.
Hey everybody, welcome to League of Legends Anonymous Podcast. It is me, your host, Wise Papa Smurf, here with Killzil. What's up, dude?
What's up, motherfuckers?
Alright, so it's just us two. Everybody else kind of bailed for Labor Day holiday or whatever reason. And so Zill and I are heading out the podcast this week. It'll be fine. We've got some rants we want to go on. So the actual name of the show is Rants and Rolls. I thought that was pretty clever. I thought that was pretty clever.
That's pretty good.
All right, so first things first, guys, and you'll have to excuse me because I know it's only been like 4 or 5 episodes since I went on a virtually identical rant to this, but we're going back because Riot has released Preseason Development Update 1, and I think there's some really great shit in here, and I think there's some really shitty shit in here, like gross, shitty, foul, terrible shit in here. Like, you seen Dogma, Zill? You seen that movie?
No, but I know about it. But yes.
What? You haven't seen the movie Dogma?
Yeah, no, I have not. I should tell you sometime, but I have not seen a lot of movies for lots of weird
What,
reasons.
did you
But
like
anyway,
grow up on like an Amish farm?
actually, and that is true. I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. We had no television. I did not watch any movies. I didn't even listen to the Beatles until I was 25. And then I discovered League of Legends and like never left. You're like learning something about me. I know, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely like one of those weirdos, but
I was
it's like Castaway, but in the mid South. So
yeah, I grew up on a farm. We discovered electricity when I was 17.
No, we heated our house with a wood stove. I chopped down trees. We got water from a well. I'm not shitting you.
I did all that with the chopped down trees and wood stove. Like, I have a scar. Check it out.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, don't show me that.
Right there on my back. Right there. It's on my back. Right there.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it with the lighting or not.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, oh, there. That's even better. See that?
That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that was where my brother and I were wrestling, and I got pushed backwards into the wood-burning stove, and I got stuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was hot.
I'm sure.
And it, like, it was essentially a brand, and I couldn't jump away. Like, there's a certain amount of shock that happens when it hits, like, right over.
Yes.
Yeah, I basically branded myself with a tramp stamp.
There's like no definable shape, so
yeah, there's no. It's just a tramp. It's just a tramp blob. I've had it since a very young age. It was rough.
It's something to watch. You know.
Yeah, I mean it happens apparently. So anyway, now that we've passed that, okay. So
Kevin Smith. That's all I know.
Yeah, Dogma, Kevin Smith. There is at one point. I'll have to watch this movie again. I tried to buy it on Fire TV, and apparently it's like so old and the rights are so fucked up that you can't buy a digital copy. Who knew? I would have thought that wouldn't be a problem. But it was really, I mean, it's actually a really good movie. But it's got George Carlin in it.
Okay.
And Good Will Hunting guy. Matt Damon's in it. Ben Affleck's in it. Jay and Silent Bob are in it. A lot of people in that. Anyway, there's one point, and it's like angels and demons and blah 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 blah, and that's like part of the context of it. But it's a comedy kind of parody of all that. Like you in particular would probably really enjoy this film.
I've heard this. No, that's actually why I know about it, is because people keep recommending it to me, and I'm like, well, okay, fine.
Yeah, there's a one point the Catholic Church tries to be more friendly with the public, and they release like this golden Jesus statue that's going like this. It's like giving people the guns. You know, like, hey, like...
That's what Jesus would do.
Yeah, like Fonzie Jesus, basically. And I can't remember what they called it. Like Happy Jesus or Smiling Jesus or something. I don't remember. But anyway, it was actually a really good movie. But at one point, they're at a gas station. This guy takes this monumental shit, and then it literally, like, climbs out of the toilet and blows up the whole gas station, and... somehow a shit demon was summoned and fucks everything up for a while until they take care of it, right? But that is what, to me, is hidden in between the lines of the preseason update. It's like there's a lot of good stuff. They built a gas station out there,
I'm with you.
And then somebody just took a massive shit in the bathroom, no one flushed, and it has the potential to blow up the gas station. So... that long-winded analogy brings us to, let's talk about the good first, because I like to start off positive, right?
Cool.
Seems appropriate. Okay, so the good stuff. They want to improve laning phase and make it slightly longer. I like that.
I like that too.
Because honestly, I think laning phase is the point of the game at which you express the most individual skill. I think that League of Legends is to a point where that is where you're going to start the snowball rolling if you play it really well.
Mhm.
and it can help, I think, the current problem of League, and that is that one person cannot win a game, but one person can lose a game. Right? I actually I know that that is a debated opinion. I carry that opinion.
That's fine. I would debate you slightly on that opinion, but not too hard.
Hmm. And that's cool. I accept that while that is my preference, that may not make for the best game environment at all possible, right? But Riot
Yeah.
in the last thing that they addressed here, they said, and this is what I bitched about, like the flashback to the previous rant that I did was they bitched that we want to enable individuals to carry games better, right? But we also want to allow for dramatic comebacks. And
Mhm.
you recall this whenever I was like, you can't do both.
Yes.
Those are opposite sides of the coin. You can't have black and have white without having gray.
Or that if you do, you end up with mechanics like the blue shell in Mario Kart, where
Bingo.
basically, it makes the game not an esport anymore because you have these rubber band mechanics that make losing just as good as winning. Right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So that was my point.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought that was bad, and I thought kill bounties in particular are way overtuned with how much
Agreed.
gold they give you for shutting down somebody, right? Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about earlier. Laning phase improved slightly longer. That gives you the opportunity to snowball a little more. I like that. I think this is the point of the game where you can express the most individual skill. I like that. I think this gives you the opportunity to roam more between lanes. I like that. Right? I think this gives junglers an ability to actually clear camps and still have an impact on their lanes. I like that. Right? That's all very good. How they've elected to do that, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what they've decided to do was to do something called barricading. And they say the outer turrets, so outer mid, outer bot, outer top, now start the game with a barricade that adds 5 health bars on top of the turret's main health. Each piece of that barricade can be destroyed and rewards the local players some gold. Roughly around the 10-minute mark, the barricades go away, removing both the extra defense and the opportunity for the gold rewards. The
Okay.
the concept here is that they want a more protected and slightly longer laning phase, but still rewards those early push or strong lane types with the opportunity to destroy a lot of barricade segments and reap gold rewards. On top of that, we're finding that there are a lot of interesting new small moments of back and forth under the tower, trying to destroy as many barricade pieces as you can. Additionally, we're exploring some slight damage increases on turrets in the early game so that tower dives aren't more powerful. We'd still like them to be present, but there are cases right now where it seems like the attacker isn't taking enough risk.
I
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay. Go ahead. I want to hear
Okay.
why.
Okay. So, I think
Well, wait,
there
hold
is
on. Which part? The tower dive or the barricade?
okay. The barricades is weird, but I'm not opposed to the principle of towers being stronger, right?
Okay.
I think towers have been progressively weaker over time. We had some sort of weird increase to their health. We had, but like they also did something to minion waves to kind of negate that too. And I think in general, tower dives, there's so much room for error. Basically, as long as you're playing the correct champion, you can pull off a tower dive. You don't have to actually like trade tower aggro properly or do it skillfully. You just kind of like bum rush the guy under the tower, and he's just fucked. And I feel like, especially early game, that needs to change. The barricades thing is odd I will say I'm a little biased in accepting it because that fits my playstyle, right? Like I'm the guy who
Actually,
wants.
actually, I was thinking that actually kind of fucks your play style.
Why?
Because if somebody else roams and they get a bunch of kills and you take down a barricade, you're not going to get ahead. You don't have meaningful damage on the tower. You just got a little bit of localized gold. They got more by roaming.
Okay, that just depends on how it's tuned.
Well,
But
I'm assuming that they're
it's
going to be
potential,
pretty strong.
potential, okay, potential to fuck me over, potential to help me out more. But the fact that like what often happens is I push really hard and I get like 2/3 of the tower health. I
Hmm.
spent a lot of time and a lot of resources getting that, but I didn't actually gain any gold from it.
Yeah.
Be cool if I got some gold from it. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Yeah. Be cool
right?
if you did. Right.
Yeah, and that way, when Ari goes bot and kills my two bot laners, uh, even if I do think many times it's a kind of a 50-50 situation, especially when I'm like following an Ari without vision who just got ult and still has ignite up, right? Like I don't know if she's going to jump out the bush. I don't know if following her is the right
Right.
choice there. So I could then make the choice, hey, risk reward. I should probably just push tower and warn my bot lane that she's coming, and then I'd get at least a little bit of payback for doing something rather than nothing.
Right. So, okay. I am thinking, and this is just a raw guess, that these barricades are going to be worth 100 to 150 gold each. My guess
That's a
would be
lot.
closer to 100,
Okay.
depending on how hard they are to actually take.
I was thinking
Right?
they'd be probably around cannon minions, but I don't really know how strong they
Well,
are.
no,
So we'll see.
here's my thought is that since you will not likely be able to take the tower itself before 10 minutes, which is the impression I get, right? I mean, that's the impression I think they're trying to convey. Without hard numbers is all speculation.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're trying to guarantee laning phase lasts 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before any damage actually goes on to the tower, these things would probably be pretty difficult to kill and probably worth about 100 gold apiece. Because it's got to be, I was thinking 100 gold seems fair. Because if you were able to take down all five, that's a huge bonus. But that would also be really difficult to do, I would imagine.
Does every tower have 5
Every tower
barricades?
has five.
Then that's 500 gold added to each first tower. Then that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but
Okay.
here's the thing: if you only make it like 50 or 75 gold, it's a cannon minion.
Cannon minions are valuable, right? But
Yeah,
yes, I see
but
what you're
are
saying.
they as valuable as doing damage to a tower? Right? Are you
Yes.
gonna get your roam money out of killing an extra cannon minion?
But you shouldn't get roam money worth, right? Because roaming takes way more skill than
Right, but
actually
if you get
probably
a
taking out
double
a
kill, you're
barricade.
gonna get 600 gold. Put that lane ahead, and then they're gonna come back and curb stomp your bot lane.
Okay.
So I mean, there's also the added benefit of they're now ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's not all just about the gold, but yeah, I get your. This is a valid point, you know. But I mean, it's going to be somewhere. I'm going to say my gut says about 100 gold.
Okay.
I think maybe less, but and probably not more. Probably 100,
Definitely. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they do that, this could be okay. I feel about this change like I feel about blast plants and shit. Whenever they're like, "We're putting plants in the jungle," I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know that I want that, but I don't know that I don't. I don't know how I feel about that. And then they did it. I got used to it. Meh. Okay. I mean, hell, they could take away plants tomorrow, and I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
right? This feels like that to me, but I would be very curious to see how it plays out. And based on the numbers, it could be good, it could be bad.
Fair.
Uh, the damage increase on the tower dives on the turret, I feel like tower diving is a skill that you develop. You get an eye for when to do it, how to do it as a support. When do you tank tower and just stand there? You
Yep.
know, on the edge of tower just to drop it before the last shot kills you. These are things that are refined skills. And to just say like, "Oh, we don't want tower diving," it's not laning phase if there's not a chance for tower diving, right? Because
Yeah.
how do you express that skill? You don't. You beat somebody once, and then they CS under tower the whole time.
Right.
And then that's not fun. That's not engaging, and I can't do anything to break you out of it because you're basically like in your safe space.
Yeah. Lane phase isn't just about the trading stance in the middle of the lane
Right.
and how that goes. It ends up being an issue of pressure and tower dives ultimately.
Because I mean, at that point, what's going to change is zoning is going to become a lot more influential if the tower is truly terrifying. Because that's how you're going to get your advantage. Is you're going to have to zone the other person out completely, like off the wave altogether, where they can't see us. And I think people are going to dislike that more than they're going to dislike the potential to be towered of.
Okay.
So I don't know about it. I don't know
I'm
how I
okay with
feel about
a buff to towers, but yeah,
I'm
what
I'm
you're
actually okay with a buff to towers too, because I
okay.
feel like it's a little bit too easy right now.
Yeah,
But that's not the wording that's contained in this release.
I would agree with you.
This
Yes.
release seems to scream to me, tower dives are way too easy. You're not taking enough risk at all. Like, I think that like my point is if five, like 1 to 10, 1 is super easy and 10 is super impossible, and 5 is ideal, right? That right now we're at like a 3,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna instead move it to like an 8. Is what the wording I get out of this is,
Sure.
right? And I don't love that. Okay, now back to my original point of why I started this rant that made me kind of want to die. I'm gonna read back the next bit. Here's the shit demon. Comebacks are more achievable and satisfying. That just the title right there worries the shit out of me. Right? Because I don't think you should design a game that has rubber bands. I don't think you should design a game that allows you to come back if you make major fuck ups. Right? I don't think it should be possible. I think you've earned a disadvantage and you should be forced to play with it. Right? This is reality. Okay, so let's look here. It's worth noting that the laning phase changes mentioned above are actually doing some good work for us here. Fewer early first tower takes are preventing cases where a big gank leads to big gold leads, and winning lanes start roaming the map and crushing lanes that were otherwise going even. Another significant change that we're currently testing is allowing bounties to scale off of more than just kills. Bounties have been a good tool for us because killing a powerful enemy is both skillful and leads to actively fighting for a comeback rather than passively farming, especially in higher level play. A lot of the game's snowball is coming from non-kill places, so we think it's an improvement to a system to integrate all of the gold sources. We're doing this carefully so we don't end up punishing players for farming, which you should still do. Overall, we want bounties to increase slightly, so we may lower kill bounties to compensate for the new system. We're also testing some reductions in global tower gold, as it's one of our most powerful snowball sources currently, and it de-emphasizes the individual differences between players on the team. Alright. The part of that I have no problem with. Global tower gold.
Yeah.
I
Great.
don't. Fine.
It's a team game.
I
Share it.
no. I mean, the problem. They're saying they want to reduce that sharing.
Okay.
Less global tower gold.
Okay.
Right. I don't have a problem with that. I honestly don't. Honestly, I don't even think tower gold should be global. I think it should be local.
Okay.
Like, why should your top laner get an advantage because your bot laner lost? Right? Or their top laner get an advantage because your bot lane lost. Right? So you got crushed. You're going really well, trading really well with your other guy, and now he's all of a sudden 250 or 120 or 150 gold ahead of you out of nowhere. Right? That's the thing I hated about Heroes of the Storm, is because everything went into the community pile. So if you killed monsters, if you killed your opponent, if you took a tower, if you did anything, it was team EXP that then got split out to all 5 members.
Right.
So if you individually crushed, your team got better. Right? And it didn't feel good. Because it's like, I'm doing all this work and I'm getting the same benefit as everybody else. So, that I don't mind. With the reducing tower gold is an early snowball tool. That's fine. However, kill bounties are already too high.
Right.
Like, they're already way too high. And when they say overall we want bounties to increase slightly, is the exact wrong direction to take the game. Okay? So here's some reasons why I hate this. 1, you're punishing someone for doing a good job. Okay? There are times whenever as an ADC, I will get way ahead, like 7-0 ahead, right? And as an ADC, you don't build a lot of defensive stats. I'm not going to build tankier, right? I'm an ADC. I'm a glass cannon. The problem is a Zed will always be able to kill an ADC. So now I'm in a situation where unless I build GA, Zed is going to kill me. And if I'm 7-0 or 8-0, Zed's going to kill me and get 800 gold.
Right.
Why? Why should he get 800 gold for doing his job?
Right.
It was like killing a squishy.
Especially if he goes like 0-2 in lane phase. You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden is the monster we all have to worry about.
Right. So it's like I went from spending 15 minutes bludgeoning my lane opponent like a baby seal just to give up half of that back in an instant when somebody caught me with something. Right? That sucks.
Right.
Why should that exist? It's fucking terrible. So, again, that doesn't make any sense. It actually ruins my itemization choices because I have to consider building for survival instead of building for what would be like min-maxing for my role. Right? Because I'm too far ahead to die. Right? I also have to play like a pansy because I can't enter a fight and do burst because, well, what happens if they haven't burned all their abilities? Like, I have to play exceedingly safe because my death is worth 4 deaths.
Well, it turns you into a KDA player in a toxic sort of way.
It turns you into a KDA player. That is not good.
No.
KDA already dominates this game. It doesn't need to dominate it more. I lose agency. And it's like, this has been
And I say this as a KDA player.
That's what I like. This has been my bitch about League, is I feel like I am gradually losing agency.
Yeah.
Like, I can't pick when I get my Sightstone anymore. Right? I would love to be able to just pay them and you give me a Sightstone when I need it instead of me having to do some stupid asinine quest. Right? I would love to be able to choose to engage in a risky 3v1 on the bottom side of the map without giving away a fucking 1,000 gold if I die. Right? Because if I am that fed, if I am 7-0, I should be able to split push. Right? I mean, that would be something that I should be doing if I was any other champion than an ADC, but sometimes even as an ADC, if like I'm Vayne or something, that would still be okay.
Right.
But now I can't, right? And there's a situation where, let's say I want to be bot, I want to show bot because I want to bait them all onto me, right? Come kill the Vayne, guys. And while they're doing that, my team is getting Baron.
Mhm.
Well, like, now that play that makes a hell of a lot of sense makes less sense because if they kill me, the gold reward is stupidly slanted and it's all to the person that really killed me. Right? So it's
Sure.
and also that feels incredibly arbitrary. Right? So if I'm a support and I last hit the guy and all of a sudden I get 1,000 gold, well, really I want that 1,000 gold to go onto like Jinx, or Cassidon or something, right? I don't want it.
Yeah.
So I have to play again with less agency because if I KS someone who's way ahead, but then in the act of not, quote, KSing them, I'm going to give away a kill that then that person becomes unkillable.
Yeah.
Right?
That happened the other day. Leo and I got an 800 gold bounty, and it was just like, well, if anyone else had gotten this, like we would be in better shape. But because she got that, it took gold out of the game for our team.
Yeah.
That was very frustrating.
So it's like, no, I hate bounties. I hate the system. Actually, I don't. I don't hate them. If they were appropriate, like half a kill, like here's your bonus, 50% gold.
Right. They're just
Right?
grossly overtuned.
Yeah, they're just grossly
They
overtuned.
and Riot has not recognized that as an issue, and
No,
that
and
is infuriating.
yeah, and in fact, they talk about how bounties are a good tool for them to use, and I'm like, that's the opposite of true. Like the
Mm.
design direction is just wrong. This is not a good tool for you to use for so many reasons. And it's like this is not this is the other thing. Killing a powerful enemy is skillful. No, it fucking isn't. A Zed's gonna kill a Fed Lucian, no matter what. Doesn't take skill expression to do your job as an assassin.
I
You
think
know.
LeBlanc might be better for this analogy, but yes.
Okay, LeBlanc, fine. Doesn't matter. Fizz,
Sure. Fizz, yes.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't
Just
really
try
matter.
and miss that eye.
Yeah, just try. He's a fucking giant dolphin. You're
Dear
fucked.
Lord.
So I mean, yeah, no, like it doesn't take skill to do that. Like not truly, not like, oh my god, you just outplayed him. Like if I am a 3-6 misfortune and they're a 7-0 Lucian and I 1v1 them, yeah, that took a tremendous amount of skill.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, great. And in that case, then that bounty may be fair. But that's not how it happens. That's not how
Right.
people die with bounties. They get
Right.
fucking dogpiled.
Yes, they do, and people like Echo who have a million escapes and a million ways to get to you, right? Can just like fly in, get the kill, be bad enough to actually not ult and get killed themselves, and yet it was a net win for them just because.
Bounty.
Well, yeah, just
Or
because
like Rengar just appears out of nowhere and you're dead. Like this is not. And I'm not saying like assassins don't require skill. I'm saying it doesn't take skill to kill a 7-0 ADC.
right.
Like
It rewards that.
not proportionate to the reward
correct.
you get.
Right.
Okay? So I disagree with that assertion entirely because what usually happens is 3 or 4 people are dogpiling the target bounty individual, and then whoever gets the kill gets the kill. That's not skill, that's like CC stacking.
Right. And we're probably beating a dead horse at this point, but
Yeah.
but like Ash then learns bad habits, right? She learns to stay back and not die when actually she should be shooting things because that's what an ADC's role is. That's what they're supposed to be doing in this game, especially in team fights and skirmishes.
And it's like that's what you want your fed ass member to do is to
Yes.
do damage and not feel like they have to hide. And this incentivizes poor play. It incentivizes KDA play, and it's really bad. And like I said, I get that it's an anti-snowball mechanic because it puts risk in for the person that's snowballing, but why shouldn't the person who's snowballing like have the ability to carry without worrying about doing their job?
Hey,
Like fuck. Like it ignores the fact that there are good times to die in League of Legends. There are times when your death is totally worth it, right? And League just wants to treat it like it's a generic rule that like death equals bad, right? There are a ton of times as support where I've thrown my life away knowing that that's what I am doing, but then I created an engagement that resulted in a positive trade for my team.
yeah, for the ace, for the
Like,
Baron, for
yeah,
the inhib.
for the ace, for
What?
the baron, for the inhibitor, for whatever, I've chosen to die. Like, I want the power to be able to just choose what to do with my champion without that choice being made for me by a ridiculous quest, by a time limit, or by an enormous gold bounty that's attached to my brain. Like that sucks. I don't like it. Anyway, decided games resolve faster. Okay, this makes me want to die for the opposite reason because this is right back to the other side of the same coin argument. Decided games resolve faster. What does that mean? Teams that snowball or are ahead will be able to conclude the game faster. How do you do that? And then say in the exact preceding paragraph, comebacks are more achievable and satisfying. What?
I don't know, man. It looks like a direct contradiction to me. Like I
It
don't know
is a
how you do
direct
that
contradiction.
with tuning bounties even more so, and then saying this. Like, how does a team that's winning then close out the game if they have to play as KDA players? I don't know. It doesn't. Like, if they're gonna have to invent a whole new game because they're describing something that isn't League of Legends.
I'll read the text. Melee and cannon minion health scales up much higher in the mid and late game. These changes allow games to end more naturally, and we've been seeing fewer games where a team is clearly lost, but it drags on for too long because wave clear is stalling out every wave, or the ahead team has to wait for Baron to respawn. So if
Hmm.
you are ahead, your minions will automatically shove more. So you're shifting the risk from champions actually doing things to the game passively ending itself.
So again, taking away agency from you.
I hate, like, I just want to express skill in winning a game.
Okay, sure.
Like, I don't want, oh, you're ahead, congratulations, the game wins itself. No need to surrender. We've done it for you. The enemy team will surrender now because they can't clear their minions. That is not fucking fun. Okay. This one actually I don't hate or love. It just made me laugh,
Okay.
right? Rune paths no longer dictate stat bonuses. We're testing new independent stat choices on every rune page. Still working out the details, but tests have been very promising. Stat choices are categorized into offensive and defensive stats. Both systems incentivize or require some mixing of offense and defense. We think this does good things for the game in rounding out player offense and defense while leaving room for some pretty sharp builds for players that want to invest in one or the other. The current stats we're testing: AD, AP, attack speed, cooldown reduction as offense. Armor, magic resist, scaling health, and health regen as defense.
Okay. I am a super fan of this.
Okay, but let
I
me
know
ask you
I'm the
this.
weirdo.
No. I actually I don't have a problem with this either. But remember when we got rid of runes?
Yeah, that part of getting rid of runes was bad, and I've been saying
They
this
just put them
forever.
back. Like
Oh, great,
this is
great.
just I okay, so we have keystones, but we took the rune part of that keystone and we made it runes again, but we don't want to call it runes.
Right,
We
right.
want to call it offensive and defensive stat choices, which okay, I hated that they took away runes cuz again, loss of agency, right?
Yes,
I can't
yes, agreed.
I hated that. I'm glad they're putting it back. It just makes me laugh because it's like they spent so much time trying to justify that this was a good approach when they did it this season. They're like, "Oh, you'll still have stat bonuses. We're tying everything to keystones. Everything will be great. New masteries." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." So if I click domination, I get more damage. If I click this, I get more hit points. Yeah, okay.
Do, Blake, do you play D&D?
I have played D&D successfully twice.
Okay, all right. I'm
Shout
an
out to
uber
Clark.
nerd.
Shout out to Clarkin.
Okay, great. I love D&D, and I feel like the people who love D&D. There's people who love the role playing aspect of it, and there's people who love the min maxing of the stats, right? And
Correct, my
like,
lord.
what's that?
I said correct, my lord.
Yes, yes. So I am that guy. I love min maxing stats in such a way that I know what I can do at a very um, de- specific level, and exercise that over various enemies or other players. Um, so I love that they're bringing this back. For example, to kind of bring it back into League of Legends. So when I would play Teemo Top, and that's all I played, I had a spreadsheet, right, for 129 champions, whatever it was at the time. And I had exact different rune sets. I had exact different builds and starting items and all that stuff like listed out. I loved charting that out and doing the math. And in particular, if you don't know, Teemo used to and still does have a problem in a 1v1 match versus Pantheon, right? Pantheon pokes him out with the spear and then goes all in, especially with like electrocute or something like that. And Teemo's just dead like that. So what I did was when we had runes, when we had the ability to change stats, is I could take health regen and I could survive the Pantheon poke so that he never got me low enough to where he could all in me. And instead, he would just run out of mana. The same thing with Rumble. Rumble would basically not be able to compete with the sustain and lane that I could put on Teemo. Teemo's not a champion you think of as like somebody who could sustain and lane. But with runes, I could do it. And people wouldn't expect it, and so it frustrated them. And I loved being able to do things like that and have that play style around a specific build and just ruin people's day. And it was so fun. And so I'm so glad to see that they're bringing things like cooldown reduction and health regen back into the stats because, man, the cerebral shit that goes on in my brain when I do this, when I create these rune pages, is like half the fun for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. It really puts the balefire in me trousers too, me lord.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
Okay. So that's the idea is that that's coming back. They're trying to spawn minions and monsters 30 or 40 seconds early so that invades will still be a possible thing, but it's like one and done, and you don't end up just standing there for 30 seconds. I'm
So,
fine with this, but I don't. I think you're making invades too risky because if you invade, you better get something or you're not going to get back to your camp in time.
yeah.
So I think that's going to have a chilling effect on invades, but I don't think they care.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically they said the vast majority of games, those kind of things don't happen. So this is just going to make the game 30 or 40 seconds shorter. Oh, and they're putting text chat in the loading screen.
Text chat in the loading screen. Oh, ooh.
So you can banter while the game loads.
And yell at the person who's loading slowly, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that is actually everything it's going to be used for, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, anyway, that's it. That's what they talked about preseason development 1. I truly there's some good stuff in there. I don't I generally, it felt like the good things were like, okay. And the bad things were like, oh God, no, why? Why? And I feel like the people that, like, Riot has people that makes good decisions. They have them. People that make good decisions are aplenty at Riot. But it feels like those people just don't have a voice right now, and the people who are setting the direction are not people that should be doing that.
Sure.
And I don't know how to put my finger on it other than to make kind of generalized statements, but it reminds me of like when we talked to Skarzard, and he had indicated he thought Zoe was fine, she's not a problem, nothing's wrong with her kit, it's balanced. And I was arguing to the contrary that it's not healthy. It's basically like Nidalee. And he's like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You just got to dodge the thing. Well, okay, you just got to dodge a Nidalee spear. What's your fucking point, right?
Mm.
But in the following months, she's been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed on all the things that I said were problems. And then they also nerfed her W for some reason, which wasn't really a problem. But, it feels like there's like a cult of personality going on there that like they feel like they know better in certain regards and they will not change direction appropriately. Like they won't pivot.
Yeah.
Right? And they would rather try to double down or make something that didn't work out a little bit better than scrapping it and trying something that would.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a reluctance there that I don't really understand. So it's like, okay, kill bounties are too much of an extreme shift. It's a blue shell. This isn't good. We probably need to do something else in order to stop snowballing. I don't think you really honestly need to stop snowballing all that much. I think snowballing is actually, good. Because if you got that far ahead that you can just take over a game, you deserve to. Because there's a point at which, so here's a game. We lost. Okay, the other team's Gragas mid just fucking pub stomped whoever the fuck our team's mid laner was. I mean, just crushed them. And a 12-0 Gragas with a fully stacked like Rod of Ages and whatever is just does a shit ton of damage, is tanky, and kills and like has one shot ability, right? It's fucking terrifying, and it's super hard to kill because he has inherent damage reduction in his kit. And we could not even touch that son of... I mean, we just got crushed. And I walked away from that game going, that guy kicked our ass. But I could have stopped it when he was 1-0. Or 2-0. But I didn't rotate mid.
Right.
And so that's as much my fault. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like that's the way the game should go. All right, so that rant went on way longer than what we had scheduled, Zill. You wanted to talk about some stuff. I think this is probably the perfect time because we got about 15 minutes before we hit that magic hour mark that we never stop at.
Sure. I think I'm just going to go on something that's been weighing on my chest for a little bit. It's not super long. And then we can close out with kind of a question that I received regarding one of the things we had on the last episode. So, or not last, episode before that. And it's going to be Zillion related. Surprise, surprise. This is just something I've noticed for a while now, playing with the community and playing with people, around Zillion. It's like people don't understand what my champion, Zillion is my main, of course. They don't understand what Zillion does. And to a certain extent, that kind of like plays into how I climb, because the enemy doesn't know either, right? And they just like, why are we stunned forever? Why are we taking all this damage? Why can't we move? Why did the person I killed get back up? Great. It's because I'm there. It's because Zillion is there. And that surprise factor has certainly helps me climb to a certain extent. But if you're going to play with me, we're going to teach you a couple of things that you need to know. And these are some reoccurring things that I keep seeing cropping up. So, Zillion's passive. You know what it does, Blake, right?
Mm-hmm.
It.
Did you want me to say?
Yeah,
okay,
actually,
so,
go ahead and say it. I would love for you to say. What does Zillion's passive do?
You store EXP over time, and then when you run into a champion like that's on your team that is less than or equal to the amount of stored EXP to a level, you can channel them that EXP, and it rewards that EXP to both you and them.
Yes.
And they will level immediately.
Yes, they level immediately.
That channel, by the way, cannot be broken by distance.
That is the key to this. Once I start that channel, it cannot be broken by distance. So what I see happen is I'll start to level up.
By the way, I didn't know that was the point of your... I wouldn't have stolen your thunder like that.
No. You didn't steal my thunder because I'm going to give examples of this. Stuff that drives me crazy, right?
Super.
So I'll see the jungler. This is really helpful when like the jungler is going from like their blue side camp to their red side camp, right? And they're like level 2, and they don't have level 3 yet. But if they had level 3, they could clear real quick, couldn't they? Or they could gank real quick, couldn't they? Like that'd be very beneficial for them to have an extra level that early. And so they kind of cross, past the mid lane turret, back in the fog of war. Nobody knows that they're there, but I can just dip back real fast and give them a level. Super helpful. Here's the thing that they do. They walk towards me. They're like, oh, you're leveling me up. I'm going to come in close and smooch you on the face as a thank you. It's like, no. Why are you walking towards me? I'm leveling you up. That has an infinite range when I begin that channel. So just walk on past like nothing is happening. Otherwise, you're wasting time. Like, get to your next camp as soon as possible. The level will complete, I promise you. If you're backing and I start to level you up, just finish your back. It will channel all the way to fucking base, and you'll level up there.
Yeah, Zillion does not require you to make eye contact while he's filling up your bar.
No, like I'm giving you XP, pretend like acknowledge it's happening, and nothing else. It will finish on its own. And one thing I will do for junglers sometimes when they're like getting ready to engage in a fight, we're all grouping up, and I can give the jungler a level, or I can give the tank, the engaged tank, a level before we all go in. I'm gonna do that real fast, and they like back off from the position that they're in so they can get closer to me. It's like, look, I like to snuggle too, but you don't need to do that when I'm leveling you. Stop, please. It's an infinite range. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if you are the engage, and you, the guy who's going to be making plays, if you're the Malphite, if you're the Rammus, if you're the Maokai, hell, if you're the Hecarim or the Kled, whatever it is, if you're the guy that's going to, like, start shit, right? Being fast, like, helps you to do that from, like, way farther away than you normally would be able to. So I will play around, and most Zillions will play around with their speed-ups with you when it comes to starting fights. And so, like, look for that sort of synergy. Don't, like, not engage when you get sped up, or get sped up, run around in circles, and then engage. It's like, no, the speed up is meant to help that actually happen. Zillion is an enchanter support.
Okay, I want to tell a story.
Okay.
That is exactly this. So when I was playing support Zillion, because actually I think it was a long time ago, and I was arguing with you that Zillion is a shit-ass champion, and it was pretty much the definition of old AIDS. And I was like, it was the only champion I hated almost as much as Soraka. And I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll just play him to Mastery 7. I'll get him out of the way. Maybe I'm wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Right?
This is when I started listening to the podcast, by the way. And I was like so mad was like walking to the grocery store, listening to the podcast, and like just being like, "I hate Zillion. I hate Zillion." I'm like, "No!" I'm like screaming into my microphone.
I am a reasonable human being, and if you present me with a well-rationed counterpoint, I will listen to it. And I don't actually hate Zillion anymore. I've played him enough. I get it, and I think he's actually can be very powerful, even as a support.
Yeah,
In like he's a hyper carry, essentially support, which is
he
a weird
scales
thing to
hard.
say. But it does annoy the piss out of me whenever I play Zillion and I see like like I had a volley bear that was coming in out of Tribush, and they're shooting our tower, and the volley bear's in Tribush, and he just sits there.
Sits there, does
And
nothing.
I was like, guy, all you have to do is run at him.
Do you want to go Mach
I
12?
I was
Because
like,
we can go Mach 12.
I will literally triple your engage range
Yeah.
because I will give you so much speed that if you don't get hard CC'd, it's done, right? But he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna wait for that guy to land his double bomb, and then I'm gonna barrel roll in because
No, don't wait for the bomb.
you're accounting like in his mind, he's like, I am accounting for the fact that if I run at them, I can get from here to here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no. If you run at them, you can actually get from here to here
Right.
because you run at triple speed now or
Yes.
double speed, 99% bonus,
Yeah.
right? Okay, go. Like you have a much longer range for engage
Yes.
than you actually have broken engage because your character is balanced around the concept that you are this fast.
Yeah.
And
Not
now
only
you
that,
win.
if you have CC in your kit, like Volibear has a flip right, Maokai can just
Mm-hmm.
jump to champions, Riven can sit on someone's face and do what Riven does. My double bomb then is a guaranteed chain CC stuff
Yeah.
because I don't actually have to hit the person that you are CCing. I just have to hit you, and that's way easier because it's an AOE,
Yeah.
and it
Or
just
I know you're gonna flip them. I can drop the bombs right there, and
yeah
they can't
yeah.
dodge it, and so done.
Those speed ups, like, respect them. They are your friend. And I will use them on you if you're the type of champion who can
So,
utilize that.
anime, I agree with you too. Riven can sit on your face, but she has abilities too, and a lot of them stun.
That's true. All right. So next is like, I mean, this is kind of similar, but like Rachel and I are actually good at this. Rachel and I play Flex Q a lot together. You probably play with her in the community. Her name's Bionic Woman. But
Yep.
like
She's
as
in
an
Twitch chat right
ADC,
now saying hi. I
oh hi
answered.
Rachel.
I
Hey,
answered for you
awesome.
because you're not polite. So go on.
I also have one monitor. I'm poor.
Mm-hmm.
But so the thing is, Rachel will do is I will speed her up, and she will go in and trade real fast with autos, and then back off while the speed is still on. Like she just instinctively does that. And it's like if you can get to that sort of synergy, those speed ups are intensely powerful. So utilize those. Anyway, lastly, this is the only thing or not lastly, but more specific to what Zillion is known for is his ultimate, right? And you put it on someone and they come back from the dead if they're killed. So I see a lot of people, think about the Zillion ult as like, oh, if I die, Zillion's going to ult me. If I'm the first one to die, Zillion's going to ult me. Or they think, oh, I'm the ADC, Zillion's going to ult me. And I just wanted to kind of give some thought into like when it comes to the ult, what's going to happen. So if you are the carry, and I mean, you're not just playing ADC, like you're the win condition, right? And they have a Fizz or a LeBlanc. They have that Zed who can just waltz in, one-shot you, and disappear. And if that happens, basically we're just going to lose the fight every single time. I will ult you. I will ult you. If I don't, it is on me, 100%.
And if I don't, I will remember you.
Fine. Fine. I deserve it. I deserve all
No,
of it.
no, I mean, I will remember you.
Yes. Yes. Oh man, that needs to be in a montage at some point. We need to get our video editor on that.
Just every failed Zillion hole with like a
Oh
tear,
man,
and then it
and
plays that
believe me,
song. I will remember you. Do 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 do.
oh, Sarah McLachlan, laying it on thick.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's like, okay, but
it'd be like
if you're
that,
the
and
ADC,
then a bunch of pictures of like animals from the pound.
or just like the champions with death timers, like slowly going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
Like Zed 2018 through 2018.
yes. But if you're the 0-2 Ash, and I didn't know you in the fight, sucks to be you. I didn't consider you the carry. I'm sorry. You know, like the Rammus going in, who was actually doing the engage, who I could get double bombs off on. He was the one who deserved the ult in that fight. So it's like, but I see a lot of like hesitancy to like actually shoot things. You know, when you're at the carry who is ahead and stuff like that. And look, I'm a passive player, and Blake thinks I play way, way, way too passive. Blake's right.
I was gonna say, is this a debate? Because I think
No,
okay, great.
no,
Please
no.
continue.
But I'm saying if I think you're playing too passive, we have definitely got a problem. Okay?
It's like a turtle looking over at the snail and being like, dude,
Dude,
speed that shit up.
yeah, man, like you are moving way too fucking slow. Yeah,
This is
if
the fast lane, pussy.
if like the KDA bitch player Zillion is telling you that you're not being aggressive enough, you're definitely not being aggressive enough. And then one last thing, and this is the thing that drives me the most crazy, but it's
Oh, hold
probably
on. Before you move
okay.
on,
Yes.
keep in mind, as Zillion, there is actually a huge incentive to using your ult on a tank
Yeah.
because they come
True.
back with full hit points. Like their hit points are worth
Especially Zillion mid.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
their hit points are worth more than your hit points are because they have defenses. So, like if I bring you back, and I'm just making up numbers, but if I bring you back with 2,000 health, right? Because I have enough AP to fill up your whole health bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
don't have defensive stats, so your 2,000 health is essentially 3,000 damage from,
Right.
let's say, uh, physical attacks, right? From AD. But if I
True.
bring back a tank who has 300 armor, and I bring him back with, well, let's say 3,000 health, because A, he has more health than you, and B, his 3,000 health against a team of AD characters is actually bringing back like 12,000 health onto the board.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be way more beneficial to bring him back than it would be to bring you back.
Yeah. This is like slightly advanced Zillion stuff, but yes, it is more economical to ult tanks who have more HP and more resistances for sure. And to a certain extent, depending on how the team fight is going, especially if it's being fought front to back, it's more efficient to ult the first person who goes down, because then it's more like a 6v5 instead of actually a 5v5.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like super niche cases, so I didn't really want to get too much into that.
Well, okay, so just the same concept is Soraka. You want to spend your mana healing tanks
Mm-hmm.
because you're healing the same amount of hit points, but the effective health you're giving is much higher on a tank than it is on an ADC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the same kind of deal.
Yes. Okay. So one other thing, and it's kind of how the bombs work a little bit. There's some slight mechanics there that people don't quite understand. Bombs take priority for allies. So if I put a bomb on one bomb, I throw one bomb on two people who are fighting, it will stick to the allies' body rather than the enemy's body. And this is kind of like usually is just fine in normal combat, especially because if those two people are up against each other, they're probably fighting melee, right? And the bomb will just go off and hit the enemy, regardless of whose head it's actually on. However, when you have like someone like a Zed or someone like the ADC on the enemy team die in a fight and they have GA, right? And they become untargetable for a certain amount of time, but
I know
stationary,
exactly where you're going with this.
and they're about to revive, right? Okay. I don't know what it is about everyone's like need to just go up and like
Spoon.
teabag the corpse or like hump whatever is left on the ground of Zed, but they like all group around him like they're gonna just like we got him, yay! And or he's coming back up, we're gonna like CC chain him and stuff like that. It's like when there's a Zillion there, back the fuck off. Back the fuck off, okay? See, here's the deal. Here's what Zillion can do. Zillion can throw a double bomb on where that Zed is going to pop back up, or where that Caitlyn is going to pop back up. And it can sit there for 3 solid seconds. He has an incredible margin of error to just throw down 2 bombs. And as soon as they pop back up, they're probably just dead, number one, from all the damage that's going to occur from those double bombs. And they're definitely stunned for an inordinate amount of time. Easily enough time for the CC chain to continue. However, if you stand on his corpse, if you just sit there and teabag for fun, what's going to happen is the bomb will take priority on your head, and then it will allow me to not get the stun off. And then they will get away. And I know that this is incredibly specific, but this is the most infuriating thing when there's a kill that is most definitely secured, usually over somebody who has GA, so they're kind of like ahead already. They probably have a high gold bounty on them already, and you just let them get away because you have the need to stand there. Don't do that. Also, it does work on TPs, on wards and stuff like that. So if there's a TP coming in, Zillion can double bomb where the TP is coming in, so that as soon as that person appears, they're stunned instantly.
I mean,
Takes them right out of the fight.
I tell you, it's a whack-a-mole reflex that everybody has. Is like that mole is gonna pop its head out, and you just want to stand over it with a hammer.
Yeah.
And like just go, bam, But like you cannot do that because imagine if you're playing whack-a-mole, and one of the moles has a grenade. You would not want to stand immediately over the machine. Maybe give it a couple of feet. Maybe let the guy with the grenade diffusing kit take a whack. Right? Probably be a good idea. But if you hover over the fucking machine, then you both explode and the mole, wins. The mole should never win whack-a-mole.
I don't know why you're taking grenades into Chuck E. Cheese, but,
I mean, take grenades everywhere. You don't?
The whole right to bear arms thing, I just never thought that included grenades. Maybe I should rethink this.
I have grenades and then 2 sets of bear arms in my car.
Yes.
Just to prove a point. And that's that grenades work against bears.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
I'm just a grenade enthusiast, man. So, all right, we were going to talk about Okay, I'm just going to do this because I can do it real quick, and I don't really want to make a case out of it, but there is something I want to talk about, and that is playing your role as well as playing your champion. Okay? Because there is a lot of subtle distinction between how you would play a champion versus how you should play a champion in a certain role, right? So, for example, I'll just use Zillion because we've already beat the shit out of Zillion today, and this makes sense, right? But if you are playing Zillion mid and you're playing a team fight, you are desperately trying to get a double bomb on who? The carry. Right? You want to blow up their carry, stun their carry, kill somebody because you have a ton of AP, and that AP yields a ton of damage. Right? That would be the best thing that you could possibly do is to land a double bomb on their back line. As a support,
In a vacuum, yes.
yeah, and I'm just saying this is ideal gold standard scenario,
Sure.
right? Of perfectly balanced team fight, you versus them, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously, there's also you want to stun a lot of people, but whatever, right? But it's mostly like you use your damage
Right.
as a more effective tool. If you're
Sorry,
playing
I'm trying not to
Zilean,
overthink things.
yeah,
Yeah, but I got
I'm
you.
keeping this as simple as it can be. If you are playing support Zilean, it would be totally fine to use your double bomb on a tank and a follow-up damage. Like that would be fine because your bomb isn't about damage, it's about utility. You're using your utility more and your damage less, so your playstyle needs to be focused on a different pseudo objective, right? You need to be a support, not a mid, right? Granted, either way you play Zillion is always going to be supporty,
Sure.
right? There's no way to play that champion without playing it in the supportive style,
Right.
right? But your emphasis is completely different. Another champion that people suffer from this like identity crisis with is Pike. And it's like
Yikes.
I
Yes.
fucking love Pike. You know why I love Pike is because I really already know how to play support. And that champion synergizes with my knowledge of the role and my inherent bloodthirsty murderiness of how I play League of Legends to combine into something that really works on several levels, right? But even if I'm
Mhm.
going for shit, I'm still playing as a support champion. Like I'm not just going raw dog assassin. And I
Mhm.
think it has attracted the wrong type of people to the role of support who are like, I'll just play Pike. I'll just be an assassin, right? And I don't have to play assassin mid. I can play assassin support. And but you're not playing support. You're playing the lane like you're just a guy who's waiting to assassinate the other,
Mhm.
right? So your lane will start feeling to your ADC like it's a 1v2, and then if they do something meaningful on their 1v2, that you're going to swoop in and kill the other person. But they don't feel like they're in a 2v2, and they don't feel like they're supported or you're going to save them. So I was playing a game this week, and Pike was my support, and I was playing, I don't know, MF or something, and a Nunu started running down the lane with the snowball, and I have 15% health left, and my Pike is full health, and I can't dodge that snowball. It's not going
Yep.
to happen. Snowball's too big, and I watched my Pike go into W and just run down the lane, and I was like, hey, you could have went W and ran in front of the snowball, got stunned, and eat out, and we both live. And the guy, honestly, he didn't even think about it. He didn't even think about it because his mindset was not that of a support champion, right? Like if I
Yeah.
threw that same guy on Nautilus and I put him in the same position, he'd be like, I need to intercept that snowball,
Right.
right? But it's a mindset shift, right? I don't care if you want to play Pike mid or Pike top and you want to go kill crazy, fine, go for it. I think you'd be better off playing like a full designed to kill assassin champion in that role, but Pike's fine, right? If that's what you want to do, fine, go for it. But if you're going to play support, you need to play as a support first,
Mhm.
and then as your champion second. If you and that goes for any I play a ton of, and you can take my word for this because I play a ton of goofy shit as support.
Right.
Like if
Like that should be
anybody is
least support.
yeah, if anybody is qualified
Garbage.
to give you this opinion, it is me. Play your role first and your champion second. Ideally, play them both at the same time. So, I could bring up more examples. like example, Pantheon. If you play Pantheon top, you're going to build a whole bunch of AD. You're going to spike in the mid game. You're going to do a shit ton of damage in the mid game, and then you're gradually going to fade off as the game goes on. In support, you may build a damage item, and then you're going to build pretty much just tank.
Mhm.
Because your whole job is guaranteed CC of the shield stun and an early game carry.
Yeah.
And after that, if you try to keep up with damage without CS, it's just never going to work. So you have to build tank stats and you have to do utility things. So it entirely changes the way you play that champion. Don't look to take a champion that's a top laner to support or to take a champion that like Jax plays entirely different in top lane than he does in jungle.
Yep.
Like Lane Yi plays different than Yi jungle. Like this isn't just a support thing that I'm talking about. This is a how much gold income can you realistically expect? How do you need to adjust your build? How do you need to adjust your strategy? Because if you don't have the money to just pop somebody like you would in top lane,
Right.
then you can't act like that's what you're going to do in jungle. Granted,
Now,
there's supports. I mean, sometimes I'm playing support and I'm playing like a mage support, and I get way the fuck ahead where I'm like 4-0. Yeah, I build damage. Fine, right?
mhm.
I'm so far ahead that I can probably snowball that damage. Doesn't matter that I don't get CS.
Plus,
I'm
mage supports typically have high base damage, and
sure.
that's what allows that to work. So,
Yeah, so I mean, sure, know the limits of what I'm talking about. So I'm not saying you can't play like you would mid if you're playing Lux support, right? It may be very similar to how you play, but it may not be similar at all, depending on how the game goes, right? Play your role first and your champion second. If you can and you're truly skilled, play both of those things at the same time, but always favor your role. Because that's how you fit into a team. You don't fit into your team by being a champion. Go for it. You had a
oh no, yeah, I don't have anything to add other than
oh,
that is
so
exactly
that
correct.
so that was
Sorry,
that was a
that was
supporting.
an agreement finger gun. There we
Oh,
go.
okay. I was like, what? Whenever you waggled your finger at me, I was like, oh, he wants to add one more thing. I was like, okay, cool. But
No, I
apparently
guess
that
I
was
guess I could, which is like I do stupid shit. But I play Zillion Top, and it's like Zillion Top. I do not play at all the same way as Zillion Mid because wave management is like the most important thing top, and that's where like the role part comes in, playing the role first before the actual champion. I can play Zillion Top and be an amazing Zillion, get lots of stuns and all the stuffs. But if I like don't manage my wave properly, then I am losing that game very hard.
cool, cool. Well, hour 15, that's probably it. Community games have been enormously successful. Thank you guys for that. We made use of room 3 this week again. So we had 2 full room 2s. So that's 20 something people showed up. We got everybody in a game. I shoutcasted 2 of those games. The other 2, everybody seemed to have a lot of fun. The turnout's been great. That's Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central, and yeah, it's we post the games on YouTube. You should be able to see it there. You should be able to see it live on Twitch if you wanted, but don't do that while you're playing it because that's ghosting and that's a dick move. Even though it's three
Yes.
minutes behind, I guess that's probably okay. It's 3 minutes behind, but anyway,
It's not too bad.
spectator delay. What you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
But
By mid September, I plan on getting some tournament stuff organized for us. We'll have more on that soon. But yeah, we have
sweet.
enough people to do that. So my goal is mid September.
Okay. And then the other thing I was going to tell you guys is you have been enormously supportive of the podcast lately. And I think it's probably because I've been like actively begging. And so thank you for recognizing that I am sincerely begging to give you guys quality stuff. I appreciate it because we have been over $211 a month. And because of that, I've had enough money to get our video editor to do stuff, and we have like a surprise video editing welcome video that we've all kind of put ideas to, and everybody's on board for this. I talked to the video editor, he's going to make it. So the next non-montage video will be coming out soon. How soon, I don't know. Maybe a month, maybe a little longer, but it will be. I'm really excited about it. And we're able to do that because you guys were so generous in your donations, and I can actually afford to pay the kid, and he does good work. So thank you again, guys. I really appreciate that. If the donations keep going upwards, I need ideas. I need ideas for what you guys want us to do to make this thing better for you. Because that's what the whole point is. Like, I'm not doing this to actually walk away with any money. It's,
So
I just want to
prizes for the
reinvest.
tournament.
Yeah, prize for the tournament or whatever. Like, we
Yeah.
could do that. That would be awesome. So let me know what you guys want out of LOLA, or what you want, uh, expansion wise or whatever, because I feel like we've got good enough sound equipment for the most part. So that's not a problem, you know. But if there's something else that's better that you want us to do, I will happily figure out a way to do something cool, right? If like, should we stream more? Should I pay somebody to do like cool subscriber emotes or something like moose related? I'll figure something out. It'll be cool if that's what you guys want, then I want to give you that. So, thanks again, guys. Keep donating, keep supporting us. We really appreciate it, and keep giving us ideas. So if we get to that next tier of stuff that, I've got something to throw it at that actually makes you guys happy. Because I don't just want to like spend money because I want it to do it for you guys. Like, I want it to be something cool. So give me ideas. Give me what you want to. Bleh. Maybe I need some speech therapy that we could throw onto the Patreon rewards. If we get up to $300, I will speak to a speech pathologist and stop slurring my words. So, let me know what you guys want. We will try to do that. Do we have any other announcements or anything off the top of your head?
Not that I can think of.
Sweet. All right. Good night, everybody. That was weak. Good night, everybody! There it is. Okay. Good episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I will be. Oh, you're all done. Okay, cool. Sweet. Yeah, I'll be putting together some sign up stuff for tournaments. I want to make sure we have commitment from